Apparently, there's a WNBA player named Asia Wilson. Apparently, she's pretty good. Caitlin Clark brings it down, goes twice between her legs, step back jack. Asia Wilson doesn't like that. Asia Wilson isn't smart enough to understand that everybody's going to get fat because of Caitlin Clark. Everybody won't get fat if they keep bringing up the ridiculous, idiotic, and tired old notion of racism.
Asia Wilson has ignited a blazing storm of drama, challenging Caitlin Clark in a manner that's capturing everyone's attention. Is this the fiercest rivalry in WNBA history? Asia Wilson, a three-time WNBA MVP, has been unstoppable on the court with astonishing stats and consecutive outstanding seasons. She's undeniably one of the league's greatest athletes. However, Asia isn't just letting her performance speak for itself. She's making her presence felt loudly and clearly off the court as well.
Asia Wilson, who whined and moaned and continues to whine and moan that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white, couldn't be more.
In a recent intense interview, Asia Wilson made some significant statements that are stirring up the basketball community. She didn't just challenge Caitlin Clark. She alluded to a more profound issue that's been simmering beneath the surface for some time. Caitlin Clark, the emerging star and generational talent, has dominated both college basketball and the WNBA spotlight. With her electrifying performances and bold attitude, she's become the center of attention. However, Asia isn't on board with this. Why is Caitlin Clark receiving all the attention? My achievements last season alone surpass her entire career. And if that wasn't enough, Asia went a step further by claiming that the primary reason Caitlin garners so much hype is because she's white.
Hey, look, we love Steph Curry as a black man because of how he plays. We don't give two craps about Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark being white, black, green, or purple. When in doubt, yell racism, and when in doubt, look stupid doing it. And the latest is this moron named Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson has ignited a full-scale drama, publicly challenging Caitlin Clark in a way that's sparking widespread conversations. Could this be the most intense feud in WNBA history? Asia Wilson, a three-time WNBA MVP, has been unstoppable on the court with impressive statistics and back-to-back stellar seasons. She's unquestionably one of the league's premier athletes. However, Asia isn't just letting her on-court prowess speak for itself. She's making her stance known loudly and clearly off the court as well. Asia didn't stop with Caitlin Clark. She also brought Paige Buchers into the conversation, with Paige set to join the WNBA soon. Asia is already asserting that she's not getting the spotlight she deserves because she is a black woman. Her frustration seems to stem from feeling overlooked, questioning why her MVP seasons, record-breaking performances, and championships aren't making her the face of the league. But here's where things get wild. Asia suggested that Caitlin Clark should face a lifetime ban for what she described as a lack of respect for the game and its pioneers. What does that even mean? The internet exploded. Fans are taking sides, with some agreeing that race plays a role in media narratives, while others believe Asia is going too far. Here's what she had to say. I think it's a huge thing. A lot of people may say it's not about black or white, but to me, it is. It really is, because you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet that's something that people don't want to see. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter what we do as black women. We're still going to get swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it really is. Players like Breanna Stewart and Diana Taurasi have reportedly weighed in. Asia Wilson is the queen of the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is box office. The debate over Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark isn't just about stats or accolades. It's about what defines greatness in the WNBA and who deserves the spotlight. Is this frustration rooted in jealousy and an inability to accept that Caitlin Clark has changed the game in ways Asia never has? Asia Wilson plays for the Las Vegas Aces, a team so stacked with talent that they could probably win games with half the roster. Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young are not just supporting players, they're stars in their own right. With teammates like these, A'ja has the luxury of playing in a system that allows her to excel without carrying the entire load. In fact, if we're being honest, Kelsey Plum deserves more credit than she gets. Her playmaking, scoring, and ability to take over games make life significantly easier for A'ja. If Kelsey wasn't there to pick up the slack, would A'ja still be an MVP? That's debatable. It's worth noting that MVP stands for Most Valuable Player, not Best Player on a stacked team. Without Kelsey, A'ja's numbers and impact would likely shrink. So when A'ja claims she's the league's most valuable player, one has to wonder, valuable to whom? The Aces could probably still dominate without her, but the same cannot be said for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. While A'ja thrives in the league, Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the savior of a struggling franchise. The Indiana Fever had been floundering for years, a team barely making headlines and far from playoff contention. Then Caitlin arrived. In just 8 months, she turned a forgettable team into a playoff contender. Her presence forced her teammates to elevate their game, and her leadership has been nothing short of transformative. Unlike A'ja, Caitlin doesn't have the luxury of multiple all-stars sharing the load. She's the sole centerpiece, carrying the team on her back while navigating the immense pressure of being a rookie in the spotlight. A'ja might want to criticize Caitlin's recognition, but she hasn't faced the kind of uphill battle that Caitlin has in her first season. One of A'ja's loudest complaints is about the awards Caitlin has received. While A'ja is proud of her MVP title, it's clear that Caitlin's recognition as WNBA Player of the Year and Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year has struck a nerve. These accolades highlight Caitlin's unparalleled contributions to the game, both on and off the court. Here's the difference. A'ja's MVP is tied to team success. Caitlin's awards recognize her individual brilliance and the broader impact she's had on the league. The MVP award is often debated, but Player of the Year and Athlete of the Year make one thing clear. Caitlin's influence transcends basketball. She's not just a great player, she's a cultural phenomenon.
Her, Kelsey, and Aaliyah, Boston, they had something special the second half of the season, and I just look at them as a young, hungry team. Our veteran president with Joanna Barner, Natasha, and me coming from winning programs who have been around the league for a long time and can help infuse something in that team that can take them far in the playoffs, bruh.
Sydney Colson just dropped the bombshell on why she made the jump from the Aces to the Indiana Fever, and spoiler alert, it wasn't for the cornfields. Was it Caitlin Clark's insane three-point range? A covert operation to add some comedy to the Midwest? Or maybe just an elite-level prank? One thing's for sure, Colson never does anything without leaving a little humor in her wake.
So Sydney Colson is obviously a player for the Indiana Fever. Someone signed to be Caitlin Clark's backup, and she is I think she's going to be a solid player.
Sydney Colson finally spilled the tea on her move to the Indiana Fever, and let's just say, she didn't hold anything back. This wasn't some dull, "I'm excited for a new opportunity" speech. Nah, Colson came through with the kind of energy you'd expect from someone who's been itching to drop the details, ready to break it all down like a hyper-excited sports analyst with a comedy degree. The biggest takeaway? The Fever's glow-up is about to be straight-up terrifying.
Championship experience is a whole new thing, and then coming off the bench, backing up Caitlin Clark, helping her with little things, just the knowledge that she's going to be able to give Caitlin Clark is going to be absolutely fantastic. But why did she leave the Aces? Well, if you see some of these stats and some of this information I'm going to put out, you can be like, you're going to understand why it was time for her to go.
Now, if you blinked last season, you might have totally missed the Fever's wild turnaround. They kicked things off looking like they were just happy to be invited to the party, tripping over their own feet, spilling drinks, and forgetting defense even existed. But somewhere along the way, they decided to stop embarrassing themselves and actually play some basketball. The second half of the season, a completely different vibe. They went from, oh, bless their hearts, to, wait, are they actually good? And trust me, Colson was paying attention.
It was only a matter of time before Sydney Colson got to rubbing her hands together like Birdman to tell it all, dog. And that's exactly what she did in a recent interview. Now, we know Sydney Colson came over to the Fever from the Las Vegas Aces.
According to Colson, that comeback wasn't just a fluke. It was a warning shot. The Fever figured things out late last season, and now, with Caitlin Clark in the mix, yeah, Colson didn't hold back. This team is about to be downright terrifying. Like, hide your favorite team's playoff dreams terrifying. Like, we're taking receipts terrifying. And Colson? She was all in on the chaos.
Sydney reveal, I am very excited for this new opportunity with Indiana. I know several players and coaches from the Fever, and I trust what I know about them, Colson said. I'm excited to be a part of the vision that the staff has for this team, and I'm ready to get to work.
Let's be real, she could have stuck with the Aces, where winning feels like a given at this point. But where's the fun in that? That's like playing a video game on easy mode. Colson wanted the challenge, the drama, the chance to be part of something on the rise, not something that's already been built. The Fever weren't offering her a seat on a championship train. They handed her a hammer and said, help us finish this. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. If there's anyone who thrives on being underestimated, it's Sydney Colson. The woman spent years proving she's not just a locker room presence or a social media star, but a legit hooper who can make a difference on the court. Now, she's got the chance to do it with a team that's hungry, scrappy, and, if you ask her, absolutely ready.
She said it's a much easier transition now they have a year under their belts together, which would be scary. I'll be interested to be up close and personal with Caitlin and see what it's like day to day. And yeah, like that's the thing where it's like, this team goes where Caitlin goes. Like, I think everyone kind of knows that, where it's like, even last year with the team, when Caitlin didn't play well, they only beat the dream.
Colson isn't done yet. While Caitlin Clark gets the spotlight, Colson reminds everyone this isn't a one-woman show. The Fever already have young stars like Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Nalissa Smith. And now they've added even more talent. This team is different, she says, confidently predicting their future success. How? They're done being the should-win team. The Fever are entering this season with a villainous edge, ready to prove they should have been taken seriously before. Colson's bold attitude, humor, and charisma make her the perfect fit for a squad with something to prove. She'll talk, stir things up, and back it up.
It was just an exciting opportunity. My time with the Aces was wonderful, and we created history in a lot of ways. And they'll always be my Aces family, and I'll miss those fans and everything. But I felt God was leading me in another direction. And sometimes stuff can feel uncomfortable, but you not necessarily feeling like you're ready to take a step back. But I think that's usually when you need to. So that was what I needed to do. Now that was Sydney Colson, man.
Sydney Colson didn't just join the Fever. She's all in on the chaos. The underdog story is about to become a nightmare for the league. And if you're not paying attention yet, you will soon. Colson keeps cranking it up, talking smack and backing it up. This time, she's got a lot to say about Caitlin Clark, the Fever's veteran moves, and how they're setting Clark up to become a league-wide nightmare.
They went up and snatched Sid Colson from the Aces. She is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic. Backup for Kelsey. Like, she is a great addition to this backcourt. She has senior leadership. She has championship experience. She is the most fun ever.
Caitlin Clark enters the WNBA with huge expectations, but Colson isn't worried. She made it clear that Clark won't be alone in this. The WNBA is tougher than college, and no one's giving Clark an easy ride. Colson emphasized that having experienced players around Clark is key, and they're not just guiding her, they're changing the culture. While the Fever showed promise last season, this year, with veteran leadership, they're ready to win and push the young players beyond just improvement.
Hopefully y'all remember how fantastic Sydney Colson was in the 2023 WNBA Finals. That's what Sydney Colson can offer. Yes, Sydney Colson did not play a lot of minutes with the Aces, but she could have. The thing that I love about Sydney Colson is that she's all fun and games. She's all silly. She's all enjoying her time. She's a boatload of fun. That is the life of the party right there. But when it comes to playing, when it comes to locking in and getting all set for the game, Sydney Colson's all business. Yeah, she could be silly and whatnot, but when she step on that court, she's business, right? Inside those lines, she is all about her goal, which her goal is to play some really good defense and take care of the ball. And that's what she does. And that's exactly why the Indiana Fever has signed Sydney Colson. Because yes, she is a great locker room fit, but also when you talk about someone who can play defense, that's something that the Indiana...
Caitlin Clark will be great, but she'll be even better with her squad, including Colson, who doesn't downplay her own greatness. Colson's part of a Fever team stacking weapons and building confidence, ready to make noise in the WNBA. Aces fans, however, weren't happy when Colson signed with the Fever. Aces Twitter exploded with words like betrayal as the Fever kept adding talent, turning a rebuild into a full-on takeover mission. Aces fans were not handling it well.
The Fever better get a ring with this because Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision.
A'ja Wilson tried to keep it together, but after a season of poor team chemistry, she admitted, "We didn't play our best." The real shock came when she said, "We had some things going on," hinting at locker room issues. With Colson leaving soon after, fans quickly connected the dots, and the drama unfolded. Was Colson the problem, or did she just leave at the right time? Theories are flying. Some say the Aces were already falling apart, and Colson made her exit perfectly. Others believe she was the glue holding the team together. Either way, the Aces were spiraling, and Vegas fans weren't happy. Meanwhile, Fever fans were watching, and Colson? She was in Indiana, likely enjoying the chaos, knowing she always lands on her feet.
It's one. A lot more to come. Shout out our fans. Absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for showing up, showing love to all my teammates. We appreciate you. More to come.
The Chicago Sky just got a harsh reminder. Don't keep Caitlin Clark off the court for 7 months. After her longest stretch away from competitive basketball, Clark delivered a record-breaking triple-double never before seen in a WNBA season opener, powering the Fever to a dominant 35-point win.
They're going to make this rivalry come back, this manufactured rivalry, which, by the way, you guys, the Indiana Fever beat the Sky by nearly 40 points. They won 93-58.
The Sky's issue was clear. They had no response to Clark's brilliance, Boston's control in the paint, or the Fever's relentless defense that limited the Sky to a dreadful 29% shooting. Angel Reese may have pulled down 17 rebounds, but both she and her squad delivered a complete flop from beginning to end. The Fever didn't just win, they made a statement as rising contenders. We'll break down how Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever humbled Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky on opening night.
The regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what did the kids say? Belt to ass. Oh yeah. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate, run out of the gym the Chicago Sky. 93-58.
7 months? That's how long Caitlin Clark had to wait. 7 months since she last played a professional basketball game. 7 months of listening to doubters wonder if she could level up after a stellar rookie campaign. 7 months of Angel Reese talking nonstop to anyone willing to hear her.
It feels like it's gone by fast, yeah. Which I didn't know going into the offseason of how exactly it would feel. I feel like just yesterday it was January and I was itching for like this first game. I was like thinking about this moment, and I mean, you think it will take a long time to get there, but it doesn't. If you just, stay consistent in what you do and follow your routines and, you stay busy, it comes pretty fast. But yeah, it didn't feel slow. I feel like this moment has raced up on us.
Imagine the pressure on someone who's played basketball their whole life. The offseason stretched endlessly as doubts piled up around Clark's game. Could she handle the physical play? Would she reduce her turnovers? And above all, could she turn the Fever into real contenders?
I'm excited to play, excited to get out there and play. I think it's different when it's the first one of the season. Like, you just are really amped up to get out there. A little anxiousness, but nothing I haven't experienced before. I think more than anything, just excited. I think once you eventually get in the building and you get here and you get in your routine of preparing for the game, you're pretty locked in. And honestly, I'm ready to go play right now. Forget warm-ups.
The preseason only made the pressure worse. Clark gave glimpses of her talent, but also faced leg problems that kept her out at times. Critics were watching closely, ready to attack if she stumbled in her season opener. And who was lined up for that first game? Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. But let's be honest, only Reese and the media act like this is a rivalry. Clark has no rival.
Rivalry is great for sport. Like, I understand that. I grew up loving rivalries. Like, I grew up in Iowa State. That's like a pro matchup in the state of Iowa. Like, I understand that. Or whether it was my high school team, like, I still hate our rival high school, Valley High School. Sorry, I'm sure there's a lot of people from Valley High School that love me and support me now. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys, but I wasn't your biggest fan. I didn't like the Tigers growing up. So my parents, my grandfather was the football coach growing up, and Valley was our biggest rival. It was the biggest class in Iowa. And I was taught to, growing up, if we were driving by the high school, to hold my breath because I couldn't breathe that air.
From the first minutes, it was clear something had changed in Clark. The hesitation from her rookie year was gone. No more second-guessing or overanalyzing. She played with a freedom that echoed her Iowa days, like she was back in college, running the show. Her first three-pointer dropped smooth through the net, sharp, confident, effortless. Then came the no-look passes that stunned defenders. The rebounds ripped from taller opponents. The defensive plays no one thought she'd make. This wasn't just Caitlin Clark performing. This was Caitlin Clark making a statement. By halftime, the Fever were up by 19 points. Clark was already on the verge of making history. 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists in just one half. What began as a hyped-up showdown had become a performance that silenced every doubt about Clark's impact at the pro level. The second half wasn't about the outcome. The Fever had that locked. It became about the record books. Could Clark keep up her all-around brilliance? The answer came in the fourth, when she grabbed her 10th rebound, sealing a triple-double with 20 points and 10 assists already secured. no one in WNBA history had ever logged a triple-double in a season opener. Not Diana Taurasi, not Candace Parker, not Sue Bird. Caitlin Clark pulled off what none of them had, and she did it in the very first game of her second year. As Clark ran the offense with sharp passes and clutch buckets, the message couldn't be clearer. The 7-month layoff didn't slow her down. It fueled her fire. She wasn't just back, she was better. And for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, that meant total collapse.
More than anything, like as a player, you approach the game the same every single time, or you should. That's how you should approach every single game. You prepare the same way, you come ready to play, whether it's the team that's last in the league or the team that's first in the league, it doesn't matter. I think for the fans, it's great, they love it, and I mean, Chicago is the closest team to us. You know, we bus there usually, so I get it geographically. But I think for our team and our group, it's, you know, we prepare the same way every single game. But I expect today to be an awesome game.
Here's where everyone missed the mark. While most expected Caitlin Clark to rack up points, no one predicted the Fever would become a defensive force overnight. Chicago's players came in thinking they were geared up for a shootout. Instead, they found themselves trapped in a nightmare.
All right, y'all. Hey, good stuff. Okay, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our defense was really good, and when we had lapses, we played through possessions. All right, so we made things happen. Y'all, overall, just hell of an effort.
From the very first possession, the Fever unleashed a defensive onslaught that felt like they had 6 players on the floor. They smothered every shot, suffocated passing lanes, and collapsed on every drive with ruthless efficiency. It wasn't just defense, it was chaos, precision, and intensity rolled into one relentless force. The Sky were left gasping, every move they made met with hands in their faces and bodies blocking their path. Chicago's offense didn't just stall, it imploded. With no room to breathe, their rhythm disappeared and their game plan unraveled. They looked disoriented, hesitant, and outmatched, as if they'd stumbled into a storm they never saw coming. The Fever didn't just play defense, they made a statement, and the Sky had no answer.
Indiana Fever preseason has officially come, and it has officially gone.
The Indiana Fever did finish the WNBA preseason undefeated.
Caitlin Clark is launching shots from ranges that seem almost illegal for a basketball court, while Lexie Hull continues to carve out a reputation as the Fever's go-to weapon in crunch time. As one insider put it, I think Caitlin Clark may have even extended her range. She's making those deep shots look effortless.
The Indiana Fever close out the preseason 3-0, victory against the Mystics, victory against the Brazilian national team, and another victory this afternoon against the Atlanta Dream.
In their final preseason matchup, the Fever wrapped up an undefeated 3-0 run, but not without some tense moments. A concerning injury to a core player and unexpected remarks from their Atlanta Dream rivals added drama to the win. From standout performances to surprising twists, here's the full breakdown of how Indiana closed out their perfect preseason in Atlanta.
When I watch the Fever, even when they're not at their best, one thing I can't help but think is that they're just going to run teams off the floor and destroy them with their firepower. They just have so many players that can beat you and can score. And, you know, Dewana Bonner didn't even start this game. Sophie Cunningham started in her place.
Did you know Caitlin Clark was nearly sidelined for the Fever's final preseason game? Less than 24 hours before tip-off against the Atlanta Dream, Fever fans were anxiously refreshing their social media feeds, desperate for updates. The reason? Clark had collided with a practice player during the team's final workout, striking the same leg that had already been strained. The news took everyone by surprise.
They're just doing a drill, and if you're looking what happens here. Caitlin Clark pulls up. Caitlin Clark pulls up immediately. And a lot of people are saying that it's not the end of the world.
Picture the scene. The Fever's medical staff hurrying to assess their star rookie as the team's perfect preseason record hung in the balance. 2 wins, 0 losses, and now their top player was on the bench, ice pack on her leg. Fans began to worry if this was a sign of things to come. Was the pressure of the pro game already setting in? As the medical team conducted their evaluation, social media lit up with speculation. Would Clark miss the final preseason game? Could this affect her readiness for the regular season opener? With every minute, the questions only grew.
Coach just mentioned you've been limited in practice this week. Just how are you kind of working back from that leg injury?
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow. Work on things that we need to work on, and yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff's been really helpful. But I feel really good, honestly.
Then came the announcement that sent a wave of relief through the Fever fan base. Clark was cleared to play. Not only would she suit up, but she'd be in the starting lineup. Just like that, the injury scare faded into the background, becoming a footnote instead of the headline.
There's no reason to overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, but the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You weren't started? What caused it to get her?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding when to be in the gym and, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major or anything like that.
From the opening moments, it was obvious Clark wasn't holding back. She fired off shots from distances that left defenders looking powerless. WNBA analyst Robin Lundberg of Sports Illustrated took to X with a bold observation. I think Caitlin Clark may have even increased her range. She is shooting the deep ones like they are nothing.
Irons it. So second attempt, same spot, same result for Maya Caldwell. That's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of...
One particular three-pointer, launched from near the logo, instantly brought back memories of Clark's iconic shot just a week earlier at Iowa. Atlanta's defenders could do little more than watch as the ball soared high and splashed cleanly through the net. This wasn't just a rookie easing into the pro game. This was Caitlin Clark making a statement. By the final buzzer, she had silenced all doubts, finishing with 13 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in just 23 minutes.
Natasha Howard gets the bucket. Step back triple. Kelsey Mitchell to the rim. Well, that's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her triple.
As the final buzzer sealed an 81-76 win over Atlanta, the Fever had done something noteworthy, a flawless 3-0 preseason sweep. What began with a scare ended with rising optimism about what this team could accomplish once the real games begin. With the score tight heading into the fourth, an unexpected hero stepped up for Indiana, and it wasn't Caitlin Clark. The spotlight turned to Lexie Hull, who had been steadily refining her game all preseason while adapting to a new role off the bench. It's worth noting that Hull closed out last season as a starter, proving to be a dependable two-way player, and, during that stretch, the league's hottest three-point shooter.
And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
She is completely fine, just needing rest, so we will not see her for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, we can't give out all our weapons.
Turnover as Matt Caldwell got a little too deep in.
However, with the arrival of new all-star free agent additions, Hull has embraced a bench role this season. But in this game, something felt different. There was a new confidence in her stride, a sharpness in her movements that turned heads. This wasn't the same player fans had seen before. This was someone poised to take over.
I think more than anything, just being able to practice with our team. We're getting a lot of good reps in practice, and I think confidence comes from that. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice. And our team's super competitive. So every single day that we've had of training camp so far has felt pretty much game-like. Like, we're all taking it very serious, and it starts in practice.
The Atlanta Dream kept pressing, challenging the Fever on every possession and putting their perfect preseason run in jeopardy. The tension inside the arena was palpable. Would Indiana's spotless record hold up? That's when Hull stepped up and took control. When the Fever needed offense the most, she answered with striking efficiency, slicing through defenders as if the lanes appeared just for her. She pulled up for contested mid-range jumpers like the defense wasn't even there. One standout moment saw her split 2 Dream defenders and glide in for a smooth finish at the rim.
It's like, nah, shoot that thing when you open. Lexie Hull getting downhill, finds the bucket and one, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana.
Her impact extended far beyond the scoreboard. Hull's defensive energy disrupted Atlanta's rhythm, forcing turnovers and sparking fast break chances. Her court vision consistently set up teammates for easy looks. The Dream had no answer for Hull's relentless effort in the closing minutes. After the game, head coach Stephanie White offered a glimpse into Hull's growth, shedding light on what fans had just witnessed. When you accept your role, as Lexie does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? White said, emphasizing how Hull had fully embraced her responsibilities while continuing to elevate her overall game.
Lexie's playing with such a high level of confidence. You saw that the second half of last season, her starting to grow into that. I think you saw it a lot in Unrivaled as well. It unlocked, I think, a little bit of creativity. I think sometimes when you're a young player in this league, when you accept your role, as Lexie does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career.
White highlighted Hull's growing creativity and the team's rising confidence in her decision-making. She's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that, the coach noted, clearly proud of Hull's development. Hull, in turn, credited the team's competitive practice environment for her clutch performance. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice, she explained. She also pointed to her experience winning a championship in the Elite 3-on-3 League, which she said helped sharpen both her defensive instincts and one-on-one skills.
That it's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team, and I think everyone's really bought into trusting the process. This season, it might not start off super pretty, but we know that putting in the work, putting in, trust into the coaching staff, trust in each other, that by the end of the season we'll be exactly where we want to be. So just excited, with the progress we've made even over just 3 games.
By the final buzzer, Hull had gone from role player to game changer, dropping 11 of her 14 points in the pivotal fourth quarter to help seal the victory. The stat sheet backed it up. Hull's scoring under pressure was exactly what the Fever needed to close out the game. Her performance wasn't just impressive, it may very well reshape the entire dynamic of Indiana's rotation heading into the regular season.
Lexie does. You can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career. So you want to be able to stretch and expand. And I think Lexie's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that. Running actions for her, allowing her to decision make. Hell, I think in the Washington game we had her playing some point. So it's a tribute to the work that she's put in, the confidence that she's built with her discipline and work ethic in the off season. And you trust her on the floor. You trust her to make the right play and make the right read.
With Hull emerging as a dependable clutch performer off the bench, the Fever suddenly looked much deeper than many had anticipated. In a single game, she may have shifted from being a valuable contributor to becoming an exclamation point in Indiana's push to make a statement this season. But the game wasn't without its tense moments, one of which showed a side of Caitlin Clark that fans hope they rarely have to see. Midway through the second quarter, Clark drew attention for something other than her signature shooting. She picked up a technical foul, a moment that revealed just how fiercely competitive she truly is.
Make it 12-3 run as they are now just down 1 point.
Picture the moment. Clark fires a bounce pass, only to see it intercepted by the Dream and turned into a fast break layup by Brianna Jones. Clark clearly felt there should have been a foul on the play. Her frustration erupted. She grabbed the ball and fired it against the base of the hoop. The whistle was immediate. Technical foul on Clark, her first of the preseason. What happened next spoke volumes about the team chemistry already taking shape in Indiana. Sophie Cunningham, known for her own intense competitive spirit, stepped in as the calming force. As Clark continued to argue with the refs, Cunningham quickly pulled her aside, defusing the situation before it escalated. In that moment, she took on the role of veteran protector, ensuring the rookie star didn't land in deeper trouble.
Cunningham actually stepped on somebody's foot and turned her ankle and had to leave the game.
Here's where things took a turn. Not long after stepping in to calm Clark, Cunningham found herself in a tough spot of her own. In the third quarter, she leapt for a rebound and came down awkwardly on Ryan Howard's foot. The moment she landed, it was clear something was wrong. Cunningham dropped to the court, then limped over to the Fever bench, visibly in pain. The injury was later diagnosed as a right ankle issue, and she was listed as doubtful to return.
Hopefully the Fever are fully healthy going into that game. Hopefully Sophie Cunningham is good to go in that game. I know she was seen in a walking boot afterwards, but that's typical. It clearly wasn't a serious injury, but it doesn't mean it's going to be healthy a week from today either.
Fever fans held their breath. Could this injury affect the team's regular season outlook? Post-game, Coach Stephanie White offered some reassurance, sharing that Cunningham had told her, "I'll be fine." White added that Cunningham was already in a cold tub after the game, indicating the team was taking swift action to jumpstart recovery. Still, no official testing had been done on the ankle yet, leaving a bit of uncertainty as the season opener approaches.
I don't think so. She was in there getting in a cold tub, so she keeps saying I'll be fine, so I trust her.
Despite the tense and concerning moments, the game also showcased powerful acts of sportsmanship, reminding everyone what makes certain teams stand out. Before and after the final buzzer, players from both sides exchanged genuine gestures of respect. Hugs and heartfelt conversations between opponents proved that intense competition doesn't have to come at the expense of real connection. One especially meaningful moment, captured on camera, came between Caitlin Clark and Brittany Griner. Though the two stars spent little time on the court together, they shared a warm embrace after the game. Fans took notice, with one commenting, "Great respect from Clark and Griner." These subtle exchanges play a big role in shaping the culture of the league. The technical foul on Clark revealed more than just frustration. It showed the depth of her competitive fire and the strength of the Fever's team chemistry. We saw a rookie who refuses to back down, surrounded by veterans who know how to guide that intensity. At the same time, Cunningham's injury left fans wondering whether she'll be available for the season opener against Chicago.
We did a better job of taking care of the ball in the second half. I was disappointed that we had 10 first half turnovers. A lot of them were trying to force things that just weren't there. I didn't feel like we were patient enough to get into our offense. So we did a better job of taking care of the ball. I always love when we have a high assist to made field goal ratio. I think we're going to find a lot of success when that happens for us. Quality depth, they came in and made impact, no doubt. And being able to, hold the team to 34% from the field. All points of emphasis for us. And even though it's not always that pretty, it's progress, and that's what we need.
These moments of drama and sportsmanship captured the essence of what makes the WNBA truly special: an elite level of competition paired with authentic respect. The Fever showed they have the intensity to contend at the highest level without losing the class and camaraderie that strengthen relationships across the league. Fans didn't just witness standout performances. They saw a team beginning to shape its identity. competitive, passionate, and grounded in respect for the game and its opponents. The preseason has come to a close, and the Indiana Fever have officially put the league on alert with their flawless 3-0 record. But this isn't just about winning exhibition games. It's about catching early glimpses of something special taking shape in Indiana, perhaps earlier than anyone expected. The chemistry between Clark, Hull, Boston, Mitchell, and the rest of the roster has at times looked seamless. Now, the real test begins. Can this momentum carry into the grind of the regular season? Teams around the league have been analyzing film, especially on Clark, crafting tailored defensive schemes designed to throw her off rhythm and reduce her impact.